family and friends from Goschen, Elkhart, and the surrounding areas. I am Magdiel Santiago. This is the Goschen Chronicles. Today I have a double blessing to have Nayo Ulloa and Tori Petrak. Both of you don't need any introduction. The community knows you extremely well. Tori, you work as the music conductor for the Concord Community Schools. You're the music conductor for Maple City Community Orchestra, and you have a quite impressive career here in the music industry, in the music world. I think you're like the rock star in the area. I believe you were the very first woman to direct the Goschen City Symphony, right?
I think the Goschen College
Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah,
I saw
that's
that.
What, I didn't
was
know that
reading
either.
About you, yeah.
Yeah.
So first there, and so also Maple City Community Orchestra, which we're going to be focusing a little bit today.
Yeah.
Hey, Nayo, the Hispanic community knows you extremely well. You're a former professor at Goschen College as well, a writer, a poet, a multidisciplinary musician. Man, you're very talented, so very welcome to...
Well, I'm still a college professor at Goschen College.
Oh, still? I thought you had retired.
I have retired, but I'm still on the books. When they need me, I'm like what they call it, the pinch hitter.
Yeah.
If they need me, then I'll come in. Also, I like being on the books because it gives me access to several things like research engines, which is good. The gym, that's something for me too.
Yeah, that's very good.
Mutual beneficial.
Yes, I wanted to have you here before, but you were so busy with teaching and other projects. I know you're very busy with music. But last year there was some amazing event that I was part of. The Goschen Chronicles, we recorded it and we were part of it, and it was one of the best concerts that I've seen here in the area, the Machu Picchu concert. Yeah. Tori, tell us, what was your experience with that Machu Picchu concert? That was the different music, different rhythm. I felt musicians kind of being invited to the rhythm of,
Yeah, I loved working on that concert, and especially with Nayo. So about a year before that concert, so it was a while in the making, one of our musicians, Kent Dutcher-Smith, approached him and was like, okay, I have this friend. His name is Nayo. He is awesome. He plays the quena, and he has this piece that we've been wanting to do. And so we started talking, and Nayo invited me over to play for me and to show me the piece a little bit. And I was like, we have to do this with the orchestra. Just something so unique that I've never seen anywhere else performed. And so then we added some other Latin American composers and pieces to play with that. The Youth Honors Orchestra got to play with us also. So we played Libertango by Piazzolla, so some Argentinian
one
music.
Of my favorites.
Yeah. So which is great, and it was great to include the students on that as well. So we had a bigger string section, and then we did
Danzón.
Danzón number 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is pretty famous in the orchestral world now. So any concert that's on, I have a good time playing or conducting it.
Mexican composer, actually.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yes. Yeah. So a Mexican composer, and then Concerto Machu Picchu, which featured Nayo, which... Yes. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Of course, the Concierto Machu Picchu it took about 30 years, I think, for the composer to finish the concerto, which is amazing. He started, he was my mentor, my teacher. He passed away 2 years ago. And he started writing this concerto in 1981. I clearly remember in his living room, he said, now you try this. And I tried different things, and he will just experiment with the quena. He said he was a pianist. Great composer, Peruvian composer, but he didn't know anything about the quena, but he thought he should write something for the quena. And so he experimented with me for many, many years, starting in 1981. He finished it in 2004. Interesting enough, I told him, Maestro, why do you take so long? And he said, no, you were not ready. I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't ready. So he was training me to perform this concerto for many, many years. So we finished in 2004. The world premiere was in Arequipa, Peru, where Maestro is from, and that was in 2006. Then I've been looking for places to perform it. It's difficult to get an orchestra to play a work like this. I have the partitura here. This is called the partitura, meaning all the parts, all the parts for the orchestra is here. There's a larger version here, but this is a smaller one. It's so difficult to get orchestras to play it because, as Petra was saying, it's an unknown composer, unknown instruments. We have all these beautiful quenas here, but people don't know the quena. They only see them people playing in the streets, maybe, right? Some simple folk songs. So people cannot imagine that the quena can play something of this caliber. So it needed to be recorded. difficult to find places to play. I played it once again in 2000, I think it was 2018, not sure, 16, 18, in South Bend, actually, with a Vesper Chamber Orchestra. Dr. Wisho Belt, he did a wonderful job on it. Maestro Orihuela came, and he was present.
I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yes, we brought him. He was sitting in the audience watching and the wonderful thing about him coming is that for many years I've told him that the concerto is wonderful, but he put so many notes sometimes that the quena can't play. It's too many.
You did some editing.
Yeah. He said, Nayo, you can play. It's an instrument. Say, and he will play it on the piano. I said, look. I said, yeah, maestro, but you have 10 fingers. You have, the quena has only, this is a very simple instrument. But, I mean, I kept telling him that. Finally, he said, okay, yeah, you're right. We have to take some of the notes. And he gave me some criteria to take some of the notes out, which was wonderful. So then keep looking for places to perform. And I sort of forgot it because I said, okay, I done the Peruvian world premiere, I done the USA premiere, now I'm just going to do something else. And then Ken Dutcher-Smith, he said, we have a new conductor. She's really interested in playing world music, different music. I told her about this concerto and I said, really? So it was a fantastic news for me. Say, oh,
wonderful.
Great, yes, wonderful. So I started practicing because it's a hard piece. Started practicing metal. We played at home, right? Sure, I played you with a track, I think, with the orchestra track. And you liked it, and you helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, we helped each other.
Yeah,
to learn
it's a
new music.
difficult piece, and looking forward to edit it, this piece in a way that is more playable for the quena. I mean, it's a fantastic piece, but there's 2 or 3 spots where there's so many notes, you just gets in the way of the performance. Yeah. So but besides that, it's an amazing, amazing concerto.
For our audience who missed the concert, we're gonna put a link because we were fortunate at Nayo to connect before the concert, and you invited us to take part in that.
Yes.
And so it was recorded, so we'll put a link so that people that didn't attend the concert can watch it and feel it. Absolutely. I put it sometimes so that just to relax, and it's beautiful. And we can spend hours here just talking about the quenas and the complexity. It might look like a simple instrument, but my goodness, the sounds and the speed, Nayo, that you had to play all those notes, like you were saying. Maestro Orihuela put a lot of notes there. Yeah, you just have to go through there like. Every single one of them has to be on the right pitch because it's especially the high notes. My goodness, I don't know how you did it, but you pulled it off pretty good.
Yeah, well, practice. It took me 4 years to know the piece. 4 years practicing about 4 to 5 hours a day. That's what it took for me to be able to get through the whole piece.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 years. Right.
A simple instrument, but not a simple piece to play at all.
Yeah, and I've been playing the quena. I started playing was 13, so I've been playing it for 50 years, so I know the instrument. But this piece really pushed me to other levels that I know I could do. And also, I studied more music. When I studied harmony, that helped me quite a bit. Because in harmony, there's a concept called harmonics, which means one tone, one position in the quena, you can get several tones. I didn't know about that. I knew intuitively. But when I played the concerto, actually, after I played it, I was like, man, I need to know more music. I thought I didn't know enough music. I could play well. So I went back to college, actually, and I did a master's degree in music. Part of it was because of this piece, because I could play, but I didn't understand it very well. So I need to go back to college. And I studied music, and that helped me quite a bit.
I'm sure.
Did not make you a better kind of player, but I had a better understanding of the piece and also what I can do with the instrument. Now I can use the harmonics of the quena, which I didn't do that before. So that helped a lot. I know this harmonic sounds a little, let me demonstrate it quickly so people just so the harmonics just means that, and Maestro Petra, she knows better than me. The harmonics just means that it's a natural phenomenon. When you play a note, say if I play this note here, right, this note contains many notes at the same time. We just hear one of the notes, but it has many notes. And to isolate each one of those notes is called a harmonic. Okay. Now with some instruments like the guitar, the harmonics are already designed. But here now you have to blow, like in this concept I knew a little bit, but not as well before the concerto. If I play this note here, blow a little harder, that would be a harmonic. Then you can go another harmonic. See, same position.
Wow.
So I can get 4 notes in the same position. I need to do all that when I play the concerto. Because they parts are so quickly. I mean, to do like, I can do instead of doing. And that's a new discovery for me because of the concerto and the studying music.
Wonderful. Let's talk about Maple City Community Orchestra.
Yeah.
It's well, I find it amazing that members of the community volunteer their time
Yeah.
to make music and offer free concerts to anybody that would come.
Yeah.
Tori, tell us about the Maple City Community Orchestra. You've been with the orchestra for a while, I think. And
Not very
really?
long. So this is my second year with them,
Okay.
and it's been a really good 2 years. They sort of had a brief break during COVID, like many people and
Yeah,
music
everybody else.
ensembles did. But yeah, the membership is fantastic. There's a lot of professional musicians, so they do play professionally elsewhere in the community. There's a lot of amateur musicians where they do other jobs during the day and just love music and practice a lot and come and play with us during at night. And then we have a lot of students now also that we're starting to introduce that are just at a really high level in their school music program, and they're looking for some challenge. So they've joined us too. So we have quite an age range now in the orchestra, which is great. But a lot of I'm always impressed with like the level of music making for a group that just comes together and they're not paid, and we put on free concerts for the community. And we're able to collaborate with the community members like Nayo and the youth orchestra and Ecosistema. It's just great. It's a great community kind of gem that Goschen has.
I feel like one of these days you should stop by and so we can talk about the Ecosistema, because that's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, I think like 3 different cities in the U.S. are involved into exploring this system, and Goschen is one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of so it's under El Sistema, which started in Venezuela, but there's a lot of them in the U.S. And
produced Gustavo Dudamel,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Dudamel came from there. And there's a lot of these programs in the U.S., and Goschen is lucky enough to have one. And yeah, we should have Hillary
Yes.
and Kent on too to talk about it, because I'm only briefly involved with them.
Okay, we'll make that a goal.
They're great, yeah.
Let's talk about the next concert for Maple City Community Orchestra. I know Pax Duo is going to be there.
Yes.
We have invited them to come to the studio and also do an interview for that. I'm very excited. So tell us about what the repertoire for the concert.
Yeah, so we have 4 pieces for our next concert. It's on March 2nd in Souder Hall. So we open the concert with Aaron Copland's fanfare for the Common Man, probably one of his most famous fanfares that most people know from either.
People will recognize
people will recognize
the very
it.
beginning. It's so memorable.
Even if you don't know classical
Yes.
music very well, you would probably recognize this fanfare. And then we have a piece that not many people would recognize, which is with Pax Duo, and it's the Leshnov percussion concerto, and we're playing the second and third movements. It's a pretty unique piece. There's not many percussion concertos written for orchestra, and there's even fewer written for percussion duo in orchestra.
Yeah.
So Nayo was
I never heard of it. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, Nayo was a really unique person to have play concerto with orchestra, and we have kind of another one this year.
So the percussions are the soloists, the future artists, and the orchestra supports.
Yes.
Wow, I love percussion. That should be fantastic.
Yeah,
I had the opportunity to see a Pax Duo here at the Goschen Theater.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
They're amazing.
They do a great job. I think it's orchestras functions. I mean, throughout history, they've always played things that people know, and we've played things from 200 years ago and 100 years ago. But I think we also need to play things that are new that people haven't heard. We can go on Spotify and listen to Haydn, which is another composer we're playing, but we don't get to hear, just some different repertoire. So I'm excited for that. And then we also are playing Haydn's Surprise Symphony, which it's subtitled Surprise. It's actually his 94th symphony that he wrote, so he wrote a lot.
Oh, wow.
Haydn.
So
it's a wonderful piece.
It's a wonderful piece. It's pretty well known also, and it's subtitled Surprise because in the second movement, he has this very simple melody that a child could play. And it's really soft, it's quiet, it sounds easy. And then he has this chord that's super loud, played by the whole orchestra, and it's kind of just meant to like shock the audience a little bit. He was a jokester. He had jokes all throughout his music, and there's plenty in this symphony as well. So just a couple little fun things to listen for in that symphony.
I love the symphony. I mean, I don't know, some of this may just about his life, you know, that he wrote this, but he thought people may start getting a little tired or a little bored, but so he did this very that's why some people woke up.
He wanted to keep his audience engaged.
Wake him up.
And he was pretty famous by that point, so people were excited for a new Haydn symphony. They're like, "Oh, what's he gonna do now?" And then he throws some jokes in there for them. And then we're also playing Egmont Overture by Beethoven, and we have another guest at this concert, Michael Ruhling, who he is actually the founder of
Dr. Ruhling, sure.
He's the founder of the symphony. So he graciously accepted an invitation to come back and conduct.
And is this the 25th anniversary for Maple City?
It's the 25th season.
Oh my goodness.
For the orchestra. So
it's a special concert.
Yeah, I agree.
Our audience cannot miss that concert. It's going to be at the Sutter Hall on March 2nd.
March 2nd. At 7:30.
7:30. Okay, we'll make sure that we have some promos there.
Yeah.
And it is free, right?
It is free.
But donations are welcome.
Yeah, we would love donations. Tickets for this kind of concert would usually cost about $20, so we suggest a $20 donation.
Sure. Absolutely.
To support the arts, you know, and it's interesting. I've been in Goschen for 12 years, actually, and I had never heard of the Goschen Symphony.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. So
interesting.
One thing I was, I met with that.
No, I think, you know, you coming to the Goschen Community Orchestra has really given a new vitality. Thanks. Honestly, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm partial now. Well, you played one piece. I was trying to get somebody to play. No, but even the fact that you say, because this piece, you know, I had it for many years. I showed it to the different people, even here, no interest. And you say, you're like,
yeah, thank you for that, Tori.
I mean, I like that combination of playing the classics that we know and bringing new things also, you know, unusual things, you know.
Take some risks, right?
Yeah, because I mean, the origins of symphonic orchestras was to play the people of the music of the people.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 200 years later, we sort of kind of frozen them in time. But no, those orchestras were very dynamic.
Sure.
Many music was composed for specific performers of the time, you know, for a singer or for a violinist. And so when we look at classical music, European classical music, sometimes the tendency is to just play only what was done like in the 13th, 14th century. But more things are being done, and I like the idea of doing it today. Why not? Add new instruments like the quena or the percussion instruments. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I even heard there's a concerto for, what do you call it, a typewriter. And is it true?
I think that MCCO has done that before.
Yeah.
And maybe we should bring that back.
Yeah, there's a concerto for typewriter and orchestra. Why not? This is a percussion instrument, right?
Sure.
It keeps it fresh. Right?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to emphasize is that Maple City Community Orchestra is community supported, you know, entity. Depends on donations.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I've been learning that, you know, it has taken, you know, some years to get all this group of people to contribute their time. And I think that one of the impacts, maybe one of them, is that you have young musicians joining with, you know, seasoned musicians, and the fact that they're learning, they're absorbing, you know, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And that is passed to the next generation of musicians. I know that the participation of high schoolers is important. And, you know, as musicians move from their grades, new musicians come into the orchestra.
Yeah.
So in order to have continuity in the mission and the vision of Maple City Community Orchestra, the community we need to support.
Yeah.
And how wonderful it is to have our own, Goschen has their own community orchestra.
Yeah.
Giving free concerts and, you know, just playing music. And we know, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but music changes the environment. We were just talking about this morning. You go through a street and you hear a saxophone player, that just changes the mood, right?
Stop and listen.
So that's the power the music has. And now, speaking from the Hispanic perspective, I see Hispanic kids playing in the Maple City Community Orchestra. We're going to be interviewing, I think, 4 of those here in the studio as well.
Nice.
And just, you know, how the community is becoming one, right?
Yeah.
By just joining this group of musicians that are playing together, making good music, and including Nayo and other musicians in the area to just, have quality of life in our community. I think that's wonderful. So we invite, now I'd like to take a minute here to invite our audience. Visit the Maple City Community Orchestra webpage. We're going to be putting a link here, and we'll be happy if you can donate some for the community orchestra. Don't miss the concert. We're going to be creating more video content for them. It's an amazing group of people, musicians who are seasoned, with Tori leading them. And I think that you will find value. We're also going to be putting some links here to the concert from Machu Picchu from last year, so that you can enjoy the beautiful concert that was. And I know you are very busy today. You took some time to stop by and give us this interview, and I really appreciate that. I hope that you can continue doing the impact together that you're doing in our community. And Tori, the work that you're doing with our kids in our schools.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us. This is great.
It's my
thank
pleasure.
You. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, I ask that you share this content. Click the like button, subscribe to our channels. We're in social media. And make sure that you share this content so that our community is aware of the concert on March 3rd. March 2nd at 7:30 at the concert hall, Sutter Concert Hall in Goschen College.
Yep.
Correct? Again, we'll be putting some more information in the future. But in the meantime, Tori Petrak, thank you. Nayo Ulloa, thank you so much. I am Magdiel Santiago. This is the Goschen Chronicles, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.